After a little bit of an absence, we are back. Football is just absolutely peaking right now. Week 18 finished up. Got to watch all the games with my boy Andrew here down in LA.
We went on a little sabbatical.
Fire week 18 though. Absolute
Great.
flames. Speaking of flames, I guess maybe we just start a little bit with Trevor Lawrence. Like, that guy's an absolute bum. Yo, get to catch you live. Hey, what up, Natty? Sup, Graves? Great to see you. Yeah, Trevor Lawrence, absolute bum. Actually, that's not true. He's not an absolute bum, but he's just kind of like, he's just like mid. We have to just all agree. Like, he's just mid.
Yeah.
He doesn't have that dog.
We were on it all year. Like, I would say, like, of all the ESPN, Fox, CBS personalities, would you say it's fair to say that 50% of them had Lawrence in their top 5 going into the season?
Yeah, if not, I was seeing a lot of the standard top 5s. A lot of them, it was like either Lawrence or Lamar Jackson were like flipped. Yes.
Yeah, and they're all quiet now, but I feel like it's still not being talked about, like how much he fumbled. Like, they lose their last like 6 out of 7 games.
Yeah.
And he's also in an average division. I don't like
below average.
Like, you can say all this Stroud stuff, and I'm a full backer of Stroud, but at the end of the day, they had no business winning that division, and the Colts had Gardner Minshew. So there's no reason in the world they should have lost that division, and it's simply all his fault.
Oh, wow. Dun, 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 dun. Breaking news. Saban. What the hell?
How old is he?
So you're telling me that Saban and Belichick, well, Belichick's not retiring, but still. So Saban's done after this year?
He was like starting to go on ESPN and stuff.
Damn, bro. Doesn't think he can compete in the new playoff format?
He's 72.
72?
Yeah, it's pretty fair. All
right, that is pretty fair. But like, what the hell is he gonna do? Is he just gonna pull Coach K and he'll just have an office at Alabama?
I mean, dude, he was going like Dan Lanning did it this year, but he was on the ESPN broadcast for like the national championship. And here's the thing about college is the recruiting is so exhausting compared to NFL. Like, all the transferring and recruiting and all that stuff, it's so much more time and effort than NFL, like having your roster somewhat set before the season, besides like having like people in training camp. But I feel like that could take a toll on you for sure.
Damn, that's crazy. And Pete Carroll retiring.
We're getting old.
Yeah, we're getting old, boys. Damn. And then like Harbaugh also, I mean, seems to me like he's going to be gone. He won the Natty.
Yeah.
Dominated Ohio State, for the past couple of years.
They're going to lose so many transfers and stuff. Oh my God.
Wow. Yeah.
It's weird. It's like, where do you go from there? I mean, that's the most sought after job in the last 25 years for sure.
Alabama?
Yeah. Well, now it will be.
You think so?
Yeah, dude. They have so much money still and facilities, and that's a huge SEC job. So I don't know, dude. People are going to really want to go there. But
I don't know. I don't know if I'd want to go to Alabama after Nick Saban in Alabama. It's kind of like the Belichick. Even though I guess Belichick was kind of crappy down the stretch, but it's like, how are you going to fill those shoes? Like, simply
I
not
don't know.
happen.
You can't say no to that job, though. I don't know. I think you take that right away.
Matt said Ridley was sort of a bust this year for Jacksonville.
I think bust in terms of what people thought he was going to be, but I think
Well,
he was exactly
also,
what I did was going
we
to be.
also all like overreacted to week 1.
Yeah.
He
Well,
went
everyone
nuts.
took him like second or third round in their fantasy draft.
Yeah.
He
And
was like top 7 receiver off the board.
And like Trevor Lawrence is butt buddies with Christian Kirk because they all live on the same cul-de-sac as Doug Peterson. So those guys are all just butt buddies. So he just was way more into Christian Kirk. Evan Ingram. Yeah. Trevor Lawrence, bro. He's just, if he didn't look like that, we would be talking about like, what would we be talking about him like?
If
Like
he didn't look like
Baker
that.
Mayfield?
Yeah, just like, oh, like down year, like, you know, maybe we would pull like he doesn't have all the weapons, or maybe we blame it on Doug Peterson, but like he looks like that. He doesn't watch football. So
He's going to enjoy just some good personal time with his girlfriend. Probably won't even watch the playoffs.
He's just not a football guy. It's like he for sure got just forced into football because of his like how tall he is and just his athletic build. And you got to love the game, dude. And he doesn't. He's just, I don't know. He's just a square. And like, I was thinking about this too. There's no way like that guy gives a good locker room speech. The guy's not a leader.
No, like there's some great comparisons between like him and Stroud.
Yeah.
Also, Urban Meyer, yes, it was a disaster, but I don't know. We can't blame like we can't just treat it like a complete like lost season. Like he was dog shit that year.
Yeah. And like people have bad coaches and bad weapons and still perform. Like he was terrible, and everyone got ahead of it too quick because they were just like they blamed his shitty season all on that, and then all of a sudden he's not playing well, and it's like, well, there's not any excuses anymore. So
dude, this is actually he is a little bit like Andrew Wiggins. If you just remove the year where they won the championship and Wiggins was the second best player, it's pretty similar. Like number 1 pick, everyone thought he was going to be, you know, an absolute dude, perfect build. It was like on this awesome Kansas team. It's like, turns out, well, Embiid's just way better.
Yeah, like and so much better. Like, what was his stat line this week?
Wiggins?
No.
Oh, Lawrence.
I mean, he just had the most average game ever. 81 passer rating, like 29 for 43, 2 picks, 2 INTs. I mean, that's kind of what he is. Or like what he was this year is that stat line.
Yeah. He's like, I mean, honestly, I don't know how much worse the Jaguars would be if you threw Gardner Minshew back there.
No, yeah, I don't know. And dude, I feel like even when they were winning, I was telling you like that team has no like. It looked like the most like simple offense, and they didn't look convincing. And I don't know. There's no like. I feel like with that team too, there's no like hype in the locker room. There's no like juice to the team, and he's just a bland, just dry personality that no one likes. And like once it becomes December football, January football playoff time, it just doesn't. Something's not there. I can't put my finger on it. We don't know because we're not in the locker room, but something's not there.
Yeah. So, are you, as a Raiders fan, are you just totally in on the interim bro?
Pierce.
Yeah.
And you got to be like the biggest problem with the Raiders, like over the last 20 years, has been culture, because it went from like, you know, the just win baby shit. And then we were the most penalized team in the NFL for like 10 years straight. And then it was bad draft picks, bad this, bad that. And it's like, and it's all like the locker room's never been good. There's been players coming in and out, and finally you see like a locker room together and like behind a coach wanting to win. On top of it, you have Crosby and Devontae pulling for him, and people were worried about both of them leaving. And now like they want to stay. They're like, we're excited what we're building. It's like, you got to listen to your stars too. Like if they want this coach, and they're giving him the ability to hire whatever coordinators he wants to. The Raiders also quietly had one of the best defensive coordinators in the league. And it's the first time the defense has looked manageable in 15 years, dude. When Carr was a quarterback, they were from in the bottom from 30 to 32 for the whole entire time he was there. And like actually seeing culture in a team and like players like coming together is something the Raiders haven't had in a long time. So I don't see why they don't. And like they looked like a winner, they were a winning team with him, or like a relatively winning team. And it's like there's been so much like sporadic behavior on the team. The Raiders were the least penalized team in the league this year. Like that is the biggest
That's actually insane.
That's the biggest culture change you could possibly want. And again, like Crosby and Devontae are first team all pros. Not this year, maybe. I mean, Crosby will be, but you have those guys wanting to stay for a coach. And if they don't, or Mark Davis doesn't get him, you're gonna lose the locker room so quick. Like it's not even worth that risk in its own.
What if you could get Vrabel though? Tom Brady knows him. Knows him well.
What?
Tom Brady knows him well. Isn't Brady like part of the ownership brass now?
Yeah, he is. I don't know, dude.
I think Vrabel you have to do.
But then it's like Harbaugh, do you have to do that too?
Yes.
I don't know. I really I haven't seen this in so long. I just stick with it. I don't know. I like it.
Remember
like,
Steph Curry and all the players bitched when they got rid of Mark Jackson. I feel like, I don't know, if you get the right guy in there, because I'm just trying to like think about who the most or what are like the most like attractive openings right now. And the Raiders, I don't really know where to place them. That's the problem. But
yeah, it's Panthers, soon to be Patriots, probably, then Chargers, now Seahawks. Seahawks got to be number one, maybe, right? Just talent wise.
But Gino.
Yeah, but like they have so many young pieces in Seattle, and to me, that's been an extremely stable organization. So you're walking into a bunch of young pieces and a lot of draft picks. So I like that job the most. I don't know.
I think the worst job is probably the Titans.
Not Panthers.
Okay, that might be the worst just because of Tepper. But okay, non-Panthers wise, Titans. I feel like the Titans, it reminds me of when the Niners got rid of Jim Harbaugh because what's his face in Jacksonville right now? God damn it. Why can't I remember his name? No, the GM, Trent Baalke. Trent Baalke, he thought he deserved all the success that they had, or like he was the reason for it. And Harbaugh wanted like full control of everything, as you should if you're like an awesome head coach and football guy trying to build a culture. And Baalke got in like York's ear and became the favorite. And then they just got rid of Harbaugh. And then Baalke was making it seem like, oh, get rid of him, no problem. Like, we can find another guy. And then it's like, boom, you have Jim Tomsula. And then you have Chip Kelly. And then it's like, well, and then it cycles back. And then now, you got Shanahan, which is really lucky. But it seems like Vrabel's great at like 40 things. And maybe he has like 3, maybe he's not like the best for developing a young quarterback or whatever. But it's like, it totally feels like they're going to get some, young offensive guy that the GM hand selects because the GM's just, he's been in the ear.
But that's why you have coordinators, right? Like they can't fill every hole as a coach. And it's weird because like they could have traded him too, I heard. And it's like, why didn't they do that? Like he's such a sought after coach.
They said the owner said that they didn't want to like wait and get into like trade discussions because they wanted to be able to like have their pick of the litter is in terms of like candidates out there. They didn't want that like delaying any interview process like
I mean,
possibilities.
I agree though. It's not a good job to
It's a
me.
terrible job. Vrabel should be like thanking like Derrick Henry is gone and like he's kind of old now. Ryan Tannehill, great. You had a reclamation project with him. Cool. We're always going to remember those Titans teams. They got the 1 seed, beat the Chiefs, all that kind of stuff. But Tannehill's old. He's bad. And then Levis has moxie, but that's about it. And Malik Willis is just goddamn terrible. So
I mean, they just whiffed on 2 quarterbacks, and now they're desperate, which is not a good place to be.
And they traded AJ Brown
and that safety to the Eagles.
Yeah. Terrible job.
They were clearly in tank mode, and I understand, like, God, I guess they want to just change things up. Because I guess at the end of the day, the only argument they have on Vrabel is, like, in his best years, it was still, like, 9-7 make the playoffs. Like,
he got the 1 seed, though, 1 year.
Yeah. But here's the thing. You can't be mad about playoffs.
Yeah, you can't. It feels like she's like kind of a younger owner and like whatever, this new GM. It feels like, I don't know if like selfish is the right word. That's probably the wrong word, but like hubristic. What? Hubris? I can't make that other word. But yeah, because like it seems like she thinks like that they're going to be able to just upgrade from Vrabel, and like at the very least they're going to get like the Vrabel production, and it's like no, definitely not.
And sometimes those people come in and they just like think they have to make a change, so like everything feels like it's their decision that's being made, or like they put this team together. But it's like, I don't know, if something's been working, there's no reason to go in and just blow it up. And again, like what happens with teams like this is like what just happened with the Jets or what happens with the Browns. It's like you miss on so many quarterbacks that then you get desperate and go sign someone to a huge contract that's potentially an aging star, like they did with Deshaun, $240 million, or like Rodgers. I don't know how that situation's going, and it's like, okay, well, like, what's your move from here with them? Like Levis is not your guy moving forward, and neither is Malik Willis. So do you waste another first rounder on a quarterback this year? And then if not, do you ride out Levis, or do you go pay someone a ridiculous contract like the Saints did with Carr?
I think they think that Levis is a guy.
And that is really dumb.
It's really dumb. I mean, really what they should do is just, I mean, they're not going to because they're way too impatient, but it's like the division's getting pretty damn good. Like if, Colts are going to be better next year, Texans are only getting better, and the Jags can't possibly be worse. So they should probably just be tanking for like the next 4 years, and they should just do nothing but draft offensive linemen and defensive linemen. Do not get any wide receivers. Don't get cute, and just build up your lines. And then when the right quarterback situation comes, you jump on it. That's just the move.
Yeah, but like how many drafts are going to come along like this one? And I agree, like build up your line, but at the same time, this division is like, it's getting good, right? But when it's getting good, that's kind of the time you want to go in and try to win it, versus like Stroud in 3 years, and that division is going to be a nightmare. And
like, what do we do? Like, they're not going to win a Super Bowl, even if they won. Yeah. So
it's just an unfortunate time, because like it's unfortunate because this is the time to do it in the division, and they don't fucking have it. So I mean, I could see them being at the bottom of the league for the next 7 years.
Yeah, definitely betting the win total under. Okay, let's just like get into like actual playoff shit. So like the way the bracket is looking right now, basically it looks like we're probably going to get Chiefs Bills again, except for this time it's going to be in Buffalo, which is awesome. So like
Yeah.
it looks like Patrick Mahomes is going to have to play like 2 cold ass, uncomfortable ass freaking playoff games,
Ass.
which I weirdly, I kind of wish that this they were playing the Steelers, because I feel like the Steelers know, even without TJ Watt, kind of know how to win like a disgusting minus 15-degree game in Kansas City. I don't know what the hell to expect from the Dolphins. I mean, just even the thought of Mike McDaniel and his like 140-pound frame out there in the cold, it's just going to be hilarious. And like
So I just
they're
saw
just
some
so
Twitter
beat up.
accounts like, yeah, it's like it's not a myth. They're like 0-12 against the spread, and like in like games under like 30 degrees or some shit, or like 35 degrees. It just seems like a nightmare, dude. I don't know. I love the Chiefs at 4. It opened at like 1.5. Then with this weather, it just kept moving. Dude, it's going to be the coldest playoff game in NFL history. Did you see that?
God, I wish it was Mason Rudolph.
Oh, I mean, the one thing though is like the Dolphins have had spurts of just a really good run game.
That's true.
So it's like, how much does that factor in? You never know. Like, this seems to be like it's going to be fucking cold, but we always overhype this shit. And then, like, or like maybe it's like at the beginning, they're like, oh, it's raining in Cleveland. And then there's like fucking 600 yards of offense.
Yeah.
But there, you do see games in December where it's actually so windy and so wet that it's like hard to throw and catch the ball. And that's what I need to know. Like, is it going to be hard to like grip the ball? Because then the Dolphins are fucked.
Yeah. I mean, it really just seems like it depends on like, are they going to get their speed back or not? Like, is Tyreek Hill going to be chill for this game? Is Jalen Waddle going to be chill for this game?
Their defense is so banged up too.
Their defense is incredibly banged up. But theoretically, it does seem kind of like, couldn't they just do like run? If it really is like that kind of game where you can barely even throw the ball down the field, couldn't they just kind of run like a creative screen pass game?
I know.
I mean, who's better set up for that?
That's
Just
what I was kind of thinking, dude. Like, even if they don't throw the ball down the field, their like zone blocking scheme in their run game, plus just quick bubble screens and shit, that can get you down the field. And then like the only play that's taken out is just like that like 12-yard Tyreek button hook, like in between 3 defenders. Like, that shit's not going to work. But if you just run that like zone blocking scheme with your run game and then do short bubble screens and shit, and then like you can take your shot down the field when you need to. I feel like that would fucking work. That's why I'm just like, because the narrative being pushed and what everyone's going to do is, oh, Miami can't play in cold weather, blah, blah. But when we do this, that shit never ends up happening. Like, so I don't know. Like, it's Miami, so they're not just going to go out and not fucking score or move the ball. Like, they're too good.
Didn't they beat Buffalo in cold weather last year? I seem to remember that game.
They got smoked this year.
But I'm pretty sure last year they played like a super cold game and beat Buffalo. And that's like what I'm kind of holding in my back pocket. I also don't like, with the vibes and everything in Miami, I didn't really like them as like this. I didn't like them as like the division leader. Like in that Bills game, it just felt like, I don't know. They're much better suited as like a nobody believes in us team. A super banged up, nobody believes in us team.
Yeah. The injuries are just suck though. It's unfortunate, and they've been cool about it. They're like, we're not blaming it on this shit or whatever, but like their whole defense is banged up, and this is a game where you need your defense pretty fucking bad. But I do like Miami. It's down to 4.5 now. I just like the narrative being pushed towards them just not being able to play in cold weather or whatever, because we've talked about this and we talked about it this weekend. The spot you want to be in these big games is the underdog and no one believes in us. Like, as a coach, that's where you want to be. Like, it's so much easier to get your boys fucking fired up when you're like, no one believes in us. No one thinks we're going to go to Kansas City and win this game. Like, they almost got the 1 seed.
Yeah.
Like,
and which jumping over to the, to like the Eagles, you know, are in like the all-time free fall of free falls. And I will say, I don't like the idea of the Niners because if all of the favorites win, it's Niners at home, Eagles coming to Levi's. It's just, I don't like the nobody believes in us narrative because the Eagles, I hate it. The Eagles have been choking this whole thing down the stretch, and it's like it's because they're still kind of expected to win these fucking games. And it just seems like the vibes are so bad. But if like all the pressure's off and it's like they're going into Levi's and, basically, everyone's picking the Niners, it's going to be some absurd line like Niners minus 8.5, 9.
Yeah.
And, they got humiliated. That's basically where their season started unraveling, was after getting humiliated by the Niners. And then all the stuff about like last year in the NFC Championship game and all of that. I just don't like it. I do not like it. It's scary. It scares me. But there was a world where they could like play similar tape, like nobody believes in us. We're absolutely shitting the bed down the stretch. Don't have AJ Brown, or Hurts is injured, except for they're in the first round, except for they're playing the Bucks and they're favored, which makes me love the Bucks. Like, it's another one of these like free folly type games. And now they can't even make that claim. Like, nobody's picking us. It's like, no, you're playing the fucking shitty ass Bucks.
Yeah. See, I would like them against the Niners because the Eagles, they need confidence back. Like, they need
no swag.
They need a win. Like, because when you go on a free fall like this, what's going through your head is like, oh, do we suck? Like, are we actually like good? Like, what's going on? But it would scare me them playing if they like barely scrape out a win and like Hurts has like 220, like 2 TDs, 1 pick, and then like maybe their defense shows up a little bit and they win like 2017. I wouldn't be as scared. But if they go out and like win by 14 and like get their confidence back, and if they get like their confidence to where it was at like week 10 or whatever, then it would be scarier, right? Because I feel like the Eagles are a team that like really rides off of like
vibes,
swagger in a way. Like, and like once they get up and like they start doing the tush push and bullshit, and then like they get a pick on defense, it's like they really rock and roll off momentum. But I mean, when they've hit adversity, dude, they like handled adversity super well last year. And
they did. It's just what you're saying though. It's the vibes. Like the first 11 games of the season, they handled adversity great. They played in all of these close games versus all of these playoff teams, and they were winning them barely. And it was like, how the fuck are they doing this? And it was just this idea of like, it seemed like they were just a championship pedigreed team that like knew how to respond. But then like once the Niners just absolutely demolished their soul, and then they got demolished again by the Cowboys, it seems like it's just been free fall since then.
Yeah, and I don't know, dude. Hurts. I'd like to see some emotion out of that guy. I don't really know. It seemed cool, his whole act where he sits on the sidelines and has that stern face. That seemed like a sick act when they were winning. But now it's like you got to change up your style or change something when you're losing. Like, you don't want a quarterback just sitting on the sidelines, like sitting there and not talking to anyone when he's making bad plays or you're down. Like, dude, I shit on him before this game. Remember when he walked in, like he was sick that one game and he walked in with all Jordan shit on. It was like the Jordan flu game.
Just the flu game.
And like since then, he has not been the same, dude.
So, yeah, I think he's just also just super banged up. I mean, like it seemed like his knee. I feel like every time I'm watching these Eagles games, he just runs this. He's like always rolling right and rolling, and then he's like almost out of bounds and then throws it away. Like that's almost every play, it seems like.
Yeah. Again, like they need confidence back. They need something to change. And again, if they win by 10 plus in Tampa, then I'd be like, ooh, this is kind of a bad. I would like their points either way, like at the Niners, but I don't know, dude. When you're on a downfall, you're on a fucking downfall, and I don't think things change on this like at the snap of a finger in the playoffs. And if they don't come out good, they're not gonna like in the second half just come out and look like a new team. So I'd be interested to see. The Bucks are a wild card, but I like them at home. I don't know. I think it's very important to be riding high when you go into the playoffs, like coming off a few wins, like team feeling good. And that is the polar opposite of where the Eagles are.
Yeah, and Tampa looked terrible. I mean, they were just asking to lose that fucking Panthers game
I
a
know.
million ways over, and it just kept
Yeah,
getting
this
gifted.
could be just a shit game.
It could. It's the Monday night game. It's clearly
One of those
the
games that's like 6-3 in the middle of the second quarter, and you're just like, "Ooh, how'd we get here?"
Yeah, it's the first or second worst game. Definitely.
I mean, Browns Texans has the ability, just looking at those two names, to be
Yeah,
an
that's why
interesting
they put
one.
it on like Saturday, the Saturday morning game.
Yeah, but I don't know. Based on how they've looked, like both quarterbacks could have 300 yards. Like
True.
it could be the best game.
It could, and I mean, I personally as a Niners fan, I like the Eagles Bucks game just because if the Lions beat the Rams and the Cowboys win, then that game's just for whoever the Niners play.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I
let's go
get
to
why they
that
put it
game.
on Monday.
Let's go to that game, Browns Texans. So this is the only game the home team's not favored.
Yeah.
So that's a storyline. And this line seeming it's moving towards Cleveland. Do you think there's anything behind the thing where it's like not as, and I guess it's a shitty question because the Niners are doing it right now, but like the whole, if you're not, I guess this is a different way to ask you. If you're not like that good, like the Niners have established their offense, like everything's good to go. But the Browns, like, again, I'm on this thing where you see so many teams, like even in March Madness, or like you saw the Steelers always do this as a wild card team and make it to the Super Bowl. It's like you win your last 4 out of 5, then go into the playoffs. It's like you're riding high and you're playing good. And it's like the Browns had that with Flacco the last 5 or 6 games. And then do you think there's anything behind like them just when they bench people? No, nothing.
No, because they benched everybody. They basically just gave the game up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm hoping that the Browns do win. It feels to me kind of like maybe Flacco is just gonna really shit the bed. And also like Cleveland's defense is just way worse on the road. And like, why are they favored on the road? But I really want that Ravens Browns game just for the narratives. Dude, think about this round 2. This is the most likely round 2 in the AFC is Bills Chiefs in Buffalo, and then Ravens Browns, Flacco v. Lamar in Baltimore. That is too fucking fire. That is absolute flames.
I was saying this to you, and I didn't know if you agreed over the weekend, but I didn't want Chiefs Bills in the first round. Like, yeah, I wanted them to play. I wanted them to play, but I didn't want it first round. It's too early for that. That feels to me like a mid fucking January playoff game. Like Chiefs Bills second round. Like the loser's gonna be fucking pissed if they lose because they're like relatively deep in the playoffs. Like that's what I want. Yeah, but it's gonna be good to see it, assuming everything goes the way we like. It's gonna like should go. It's gonna be good to see it in Buffalo. Like Mahomes on the road in Buffalo in a playoff game is gonna be sick.
It's going to be so sick. And then we can get the narrative going that Mahomes can't win road playoff games.
I know, but you know what I want just for the ultimate peak is I want the Chiefs to destroy the Dolphins, and like Kelsey has like 150 yards.
Yeah.
So then they're riding high going into that game, and then that game is, I mean, we'll never get a game like was 2 years ago where there was like 3 touchdowns in the last 3 possessions in like a minute 30. But I don't want a defensive battle in that game. Like I want some fucking fireworks.
I think we're gonna get fireworks.
I mean, either way.
I don't know if Mahomes and I don't know if that offense for the Chiefs is really even capable, but I'm sure we'll get fireworks. Probably some from like Josh Allen turning the ball over.
Yeah. I was saying this to hunt, and now the playoffs are here, I'm going to bring it back up, is usually throughout the year when the playoffs comes or red zone ends, I get kind of pissed because I'm just like, oh, red zone's over, like season's kind of ending. But this year has been so shitty with shitty games with backup quarterbacks. I was ready for the playoffs, dude.
Oh yeah, like
this
think
year,
about how
like,
stoked we'd be just like even to get like Texans Browns that in like week 16, like we'd be like, yes, that's gonna be a fire game.
Yeah. Because usually like there's so many fire games all over the place, and that's why I love the regular season. But now it's just like, fuck, dude, like they're good games were relatively hard to come by in like an afternoon slate on red zone. And then you get like 2 in the morning slate, but you were guaranteed over 50% to have a backup quarterback. So
oh yeah. And then
I'm
moving to the NFC picture, I think I've settled where I kind of wish that it was Cowboys Rams.
Yeah.
That would be way better because I think the Rams could actually beat the Cowboys, and that would be sick.
Yeah.
The Rams obviously. No, I don't see the Packers doing it.
Yeah,
they're probably going to get housed.
Yeah, I have a feeling they're going to lose by 14.
Yeah.
Like when Vegas put the spread over 7, they're playing the safe side of them losing by fucking 20. Like there's the full ability for that to happen. So I agree. I wish because I mean the McVay's scheme is they could hold on to the ball for a while and keep it out of Dak's hands or just keep it out of the Cowboys offense's hand. But like Jordan Love, first playoff game in Dallas, that's a pretty daunting task for that guy. And I respect him, dude. We were all over the place with him this year because he was all over the place, but he's a playoff quarterback. Like he should be the guy moving forward. He's going to be, I respect what he's done. Like I know you, like, I think you were saying something this weekend. It's like, who is he beat and stuff. And I was thinking about that. And maybe it's like this economy, but he definitely has some wow throws, but he's got to be the guy moving forward. I mean, he will be. And I respect him for at least making the playoffs. I don't know. I'm just so tired of just shit quarterbacks where it's like,
exactly. Yeah, that was a pretty impressive game versus the Bears. Like I felt like everything was going against the Packers, and the fact they still won that pretty easily. So if
what could go wrong for the Cowboys to lose this game, because I want them to lose so badly.
I know.
But I guess like maybe not, because it's like you want to see them. I'd rather maybe see them crumble in like a
you want to see them maybe win by like 40 and then lose a heartbreaker.
Yeah, that's true.
So we did the AFC side.
Lose this game by like an injury or some shit.
Yeah, we saw the AFC side. If all the favorites win, then it's Flacco back in Baltimore and Chiefs Bills in Buffalo this time. Both 10 out of 10 storylines. If both the favorites win, on the NFC side, also kind of like 10 out of 10 storylines. You get the Eagles coming back to the Niners. It's NFC Championship, Brock Purdy redemption. Nobody believes in the Eagles. And then on the other side, you get the rematch of Dallas-Detroit in Dallas and all the storylines about how fucked up it was and how Lions got screwed. And yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like both of those games, I guess, Dallas Detroit would be so good.
Dallas Detroit would be
after that bullshit that happened last time.
I don't want that. I don't want Dallas to be able to play the Packers and the Rams en route to, or I guess they wouldn't, right? Wait.
Well, I'm just saying if they lose. Oh, you're saying, okay, well, what would have to happen? What is it, Rams? No, because the Rams are a lower seed and they'd go to the Niners, right?
Yeah, so if the Rams win, then the Niners would probably play the Rams. Oh, yeah. Dallas Eagles could be good. Divisional. Yeah. And then maybe Dallas just melts down and loses to the Eagles. That would be awesome.
Yeah, that would actually, Rams, Niners. Eagles, Cowboys. But then you
just
kind
two
of have
divisional.
yeah, but
You
like,
have
do you want
3
that?
divisional matchups in the playoffs in round 2.
But like we see that all the time. So it's like
True.
maybe I don't want that.
Yeah.
I like having teams where like you rarely see them. Like even this Eagles Bucks, like I feel like I never fucking see that.
I also don't like the Rams. I don't like the where the Rams are right now because I'm rooting for the Lions. Like I think that the Lions are still undervalued. And then I also like have a future on the Rams to win the NFC. So I just don't like that those two are playing each other because I also have all these futures on the Lions. So that's just knocked out in round 1. And there's too many people. I think that it's like the obvious sexy pick is to have the Rams going to the NFC Championship and beating the Niners in the second round.
Yeah.
Like everyone has that. So it kind of feels like to me like Detroit's just going to win that game.
So besides the Browns, what road team do you think has the best chance this week?
This week?
Yeah.
I mean the Eagles. Besides the Browns and Eagles?
Yeah.
Besides the Browns and Eagles, Dolphins, I guess.
Yeah. I'd say Rams. Probably Dolphins. Dude.
Dolphins or Rams.
God, as much as I love the Chiefs I like the Chiefs for all the fucking reasons everyone else does, though. And if the Dolphins were healthy, I would love them in this spot.
Yeah.
Just because, like, no one fucking likes us. But when there's things stacked up against you, I know everyone's just saying in the media and stuff, but, like, they're just realistic things. Like, if you're injured, you're injured. If the weather's shitty and you don't play good in bad weather, then you don't. Like, there's no way of getting around that. I can't talk myself out of it, which sucks.
I just like, how fast is Kelsey going to be in the snow? It seemed probably pretty slow.
Yeah, but like Spags in the snow.
Yeah, Spags versus McDaniels is a great storyline. And Fangio v. Reed.
Like right now, I'm looking at Tyreek questionable, Waddle questionable. There's safety Holland questionable.
Achan's questionable too.
And Mostert.
Yeah, I bet they all play though.
Yeah, but like how dinged up.
And
taking hits with injuries and 0-degree weather makes it so much worse.
Just gotta win. Wait, so what seed are the Dolphins?
That's 4-5, right? Yeah.
I guess you're right. So the Ravens aren't gonna play. Who are the teams that the Ravens could play?
So they could play Texans Browns.
They'd play the winner of Texans Browns. But no. They if Miami wins and Cleveland wins, then it's Miami, Baltimore, Cleveland, Bills.
I kind of like that, dude.
No, because the Ravens would smoke the Dolphins.
Would they?
Oh yeah. We just saw it. They won by a zillion.
Yeah, but they're not going to do it again.
The Dolphins would need some sort of like crazy weather to win that game. Whereas I feel like the Browns just absolutely could win that game.
Yeah.
Even the Texans, maybe. I could see the Texans being frisky.
What's like the most intriguing game to you?
This weekend?
Yeah.
I guess it's Lions or Rams.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Just because I don't think the Rams get blown out at all. Like, I don't really see a chance of that happening.
No
but
chance.
I weirdly like. I really like this Browns Texans game. It has the weird ability to have fucking 60 points. Like, both quarterbacks consistently threw for over 300 yards and like all year. And I guess all year's Flacco's last 6 or 7 games, but like, I don't know. And both Browns defense on the road sucks. Texans D's looked extremely spotty all year. So I don't know. I feel like Dolphins Chiefs, you know what you're going to get, like very schematic game. It's going to be 17-10 at the end of the third quarter. And it's going to be probably very reliable. Like, I feel like that's a game the officials are going to fucking decide. Like, because it's going to be cold. There's going to be so many 50-50 balls. And it's just, I don't know. But
yeah, Houston's a one receiver team. That's a good point, Graves. Unless, what about Noah Brown? I don't know if Noah Brown's coming back. It just seems so unlikely that I just don't think the Texans can make any noise past
them winning a
Browns.
playoff game seems wild. The idea of them in the second round is crazy.
It is crazy.
Like, when's that last time a rookie QBs won a playoff game?
No, I guess Joe Burrow didn't.
Noah Brown's questionable. Everyone's so banged up. 70% of the cash and 65% of the tickets are on the Browns. As expected, I assume, but I feel like, just take the home team in a playoff game.
Yeah, just take the home team. Tease them. I kind of like teasing them and the Dolphins.
Yeah, because I don't see the Chiefs like destroying them in snow.
No, or maybe teasing the under, because that game has a 44.5 over under, which seems a little bit high for a snow game.
Yeah. Oh, Sunday, just 10 a.m., 1:30, and 5. Unbelievable.
Dude, yeah, pretty much all these games are fire. And I think for the most part, we're going to get kind of fire games throughout, unless you get like Niners, Bucks, or like Ravens, Texans.
Bucks, Eagles is the right amount because it's like both teams. They seem pretty even at this point. So
yeah,
it really helps that it's in Tampa and not Philly.
Also, I think we're going to get just some fire NFC champion, or both championship games are going to be fire. Or like the Final Four it's going to probably be Niners, Cowboys, and Ravens, Chiefs, or Ravens, Bills, and Niners. Nah, it's going to be Niners, Cowboys.
Yeah, we'll see.
It's going to be Dolphins, Chiefs is on the stupid Peacock app.
So yeah, they did that just because Taylor Swift fans have to buy Peacock, which I think is absolutely brilliant.
Pretty smart.
I saw the Steelers thing. I like the Steelers, but Steelers have played without TJ Watt for 11 games. Pittsburgh is 1-10 straight up and 4-6-1 in those contests. Like straight up, I know that probably doesn't matter for this game, but against the spread, not great. And then there was one more, but I do you like them getting that much?
No.
That's
I don't like the Steelers in this game. I don't like
No,
I don't like them.
But it's like, okay, well, we have to bet on it. Like, you gonna take -10?
I'm gonna probably live bet and wait for the. Yeah,
if you had to
live bet.
If you had to.
If I had to, I'd bet the under probably. I guess if I had to, I'd maybe bet the Steelers. I don't know.
I feel like they're gonna pull some weird shit.
They just, maybe.
And it's not gonna last that long, but like, I don't know. So, who'd you say outside of the Texans? I guess the Lions. I agree with you. I don't want to see the Cowboys lose this week, maybe next week, because then we get the Cowboys in a massive game. But who knows, dude? Like, it's got to be in their heads still, even playing the Packers. But I fear them more getting off the one game hump in the playoffs and like feeling good about themselves. I don't know.
They'll blow it. I'm pretty confident they'll blow it.
They'll blow it.
They haven't even been to a championship game. This does feel like the year they get to the NFC Championship.
Doesn't Dak have one playoff win?
I have no idea. Probably. I think he beat the Bucs last year.
Yeah. Fuck. Let me see.
All right. Well, I'm down to come back on Friday and go hardcore into the gambling aspect of everything.
Yeah, I'm down.
Because I do not have my picks, but I need to bet on every game.
Everyone.
All right. Well, I think that does it for us. Thanks to everyone for tuning in. And we'll be back Friday to go hardcore into the gambling aspects of everything. This was just a little appetizer.
A little happy.
All right.
Peace.
Peace.